Welcome to Bumps in the Night, Ghosts, Ghouls, and Hauntings. We are three like-minded women coming together with an interest in the unknown. We want to share stories and discoveries with you, dear listener. So won't you join us on our journey? This episode 17, our new discoveries. I'm Brooke.
I'm Sarah.
And today we're going to share stories of places we have never heard of before. So turn on the lights, listen closely, and don't look behind you. Sometimes it's not the history, but the mystery that chills. Let's dive into our first segment, What's Haunting You? I'll go first. Well, lately I've been on an emotional roller coaster, and it's sometimes hard to break out of my own negative thought cycle, as I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. And it's kind of that time of year where it's getting dark earlier, and the weather has been awful. So I'm sure that is not helping at all.
Yeah.
How about you, Sarah?
Yeah, so I'm actually very deep in my creative trenches right now, haunted in the best way by all the reading, writing I've been doing. I'm about 20,000 words into my first young adult novel, and the characters are coming along, stories coming along.
That's good.
Yeah, it doesn't often work out well, but I tried to plan in advance because I'm a plantser. On top of that, I'm almost finished reading The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and it's really good. I'm enjoying that. Actually, too
Nice.
much. It's hard to pull myself away from it to do other
I know the
things.
feeling.
So yeah, I'm calling it I'm creatively possessed right now. And
I
I wouldn't
like
have it any
that.
other way. Yes, yes.
Very cool. We'll have to use that.
Yes, creatively possessed. All right, let's step back in time for our next segment on the state and haunted history, and I'll kick it off.
All right.
So, on this date, November 26th, 1476, a shadow returned to the throne of Wallachia. Apologize if I'm butchering it. His name, Vlad the Third Dracula. You might know him best as Vlad the Impaler. After years of exile and bloodshed, Vlad reclaimed his crown for the third and final time. With the backing of Stephen the Great and the Hungarian forces, he overthrew his rival and re-established his rule. But this wasn't a triumphant return, it was a reckoning. Vlad's reign was soaked in terror. His enemies were impaled on towering stakes, their bodies left to rot as warnings. Forests of the dead lined the roads to his castle. Some say the stench could be smelled for miles, others say the land itself still remembers. But here's where history bleeds into legend. In the ruins of Poenari Castle, Vlad's real fortress, perched high in the Carpathian Mountains, locals whisper of a woman in white who walks the battlements. Some say it's Vlad's first wife, who threw herself from the tower rather than be captured by the Turks. Others claim it's one of his many victims, seeking justice in the afterlife. Visitors report cold spots, disembodied whispers, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched. One hiker claimed to see a figure in armor standing at the edge of the cliff, only to vanish when approached. Another swore they heard the sound of hooves and screams echoing through the valley on a night with no wind.
And Vlad himself, his body was never found. Some believe he was buried at Skagway Monastery. Others say he walks still, a restless revenant bound to the land he ruled with iron and fire. So tonight, as the moon rises over the last days of November, remember, some thrones are built not on gold but on bones. That was on this date in history. Stay tuned because the past never rests quietly.
So our topic today is the new to us haunted places. So we kind of just researched places we never heard of before because I thought that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Since we're both, and I don't know if Mary watches the ghost shows, but you and I at least were both very into
Yeah, we're
watching
up
all the
on
ghost
that.
shows.
And
Yeah, so
yeah, always like either reading something or going somewhere or watching something.
yeah, so finding something we don't know is hard to find, you know.
Yeah, like I tried to search lesser known. So listeners, you tell me if, what we found was lesser known or maybe you knew about it. Maybe you have some information to add to it. That's always great. But for the one that I have, I had never heard of it. So see if you have heard of it, Sarah.
All right, go for it.
So today I'm diving into the intriguing tale of Alaska's Red Onion Saloon in Skagway. It might look just like another bar at first glance, with its lively atmosphere and Old West decor, but there's much more beneath the surface. The Red Onion Saloon is steeped in history, dating back to 1897, when it was built during the gold rush. Its Old West theme remains true to its roots, making you feel like you've stepped back in time. But beyond its charming facade lies a spookier story. In its early days, the Red Onion wasn't just a bar. It was also Skagway's most popular brothel. Second floor was where the magic happened, with working girls
Wow, chicka, wow, wow.
entertaining clients. In a unique twist, the bar staff used dolls to represent the girls' availability. Upright meant available, lying down meant well, otherwise occupied, which I thought was a really interesting way to do that.
Little side note, did I ever tell you
Yeah,
I went to Pompeii, and did I ever tell you how they directed all the people who don't speak the same language to the brothels?
I don't think so.
They used like penises as arrows.
Oh
They had
my
them like
goodness.
carved
I
into the
mean,
buildings, and you can see them when you go to visit. And then when you go into the brothel, they actually had paintings of different positions on the walls.
oh my gosh. Well, I guess that makes sense though. But that is
And
something.
they're
Hey,
still there. I'm like, oh my god,
that is
dying.
great. Learn something new every day. Oh my
Sorry, I
goodness.
digressed. Go ahead.
No, I like that though. The most famous of these women was Lydia. Legend has it that her ghost still haunts the saloon. Staff and visitors report hearing her footsteps on the second floor and feeling inexplicable cold spots. Some even claim to catch a whiff of her century old perfume.
Ooh.
Supposedly, Lydia's spirit tends to the plants around the saloon, and some patrons have spotted a ghostly figure resembling her entering her former room. The good news? Lydia's presence isn't malevolent. It seems she simply is hanging out in the place she once called home.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't serve her to be malevolent. She won't make any money that way. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that one before. I don't know a ton about. I haven't heard of a lot from Alaska, period. But that
Yeah,
was different.
same.
Okay.
So I was like, well, let's do that.
All right, so I'll dive into mine.
All right.
So I'm not going to Alaska. We'll be going to Texas for mine.
All right.
Nestled in the shadow of East Mountain across from a funeral home, the Haunted Hill House in Mineral Wells, Texas, is more than just a Victorian mansion. It's a vortex of paranormal energy, supposedly. It was built before the Civil War. This 3,800 square foot home has lived many lives. A family residence, a brothel, ooh, there's a theme,
Yeah.
a bootlegging den, and some claim a site of occult activity. Its walls have absorbed over a century of trauma, and today it's considered one of the most haunted homes in history. Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, no, me neither.
So, visitors and investigators report a range of phenomena: disembodied voices, shadow figures, objects moving on their own, and even physical attacks. Over 852 documented scratches and 5
Oh.
bite marks have been recorded during investigations. That's
Yeah,
a
I was
lot.
gonna say, wow.
852. I want to know how many investigations that was, though.
I want to
Like,
see this documentation.
yeah, like, did they take
Like, are there
pictures?
pictures?
Yeah, interesting. So, one room, ominously named the Scratch Room, is notorious for
Hmm.
leaving guests marked by unseen forces.
Yikes.
Yeah, paranormal teams have captured EVPs, glowing orbs, and intelligent responses during K2 sessions. Some investigators claim to have seen a green orb transform into the glowing apparition of a young boy named Joshua, believed to have died mysteriously on the property. The most feared entity is known as Toby, a malevolent, there's that word, presence said to inhabit one of the bedrooms. Guests have reported hearing commands like grab their hair or get out, and one chilling photo allegedly captured a demonic figure lurking in Toby's room. Even the
Yikes.
owner, yeah, even the owners refuse to sleep inside. Cannot blame them. Catherine
Mm-mm.
Estes, one of the caretakers, and by the way, I looked up whether she was like from any relation to like the Estes method. It is not.
Oh yeah.
It's not the different Estes. Anyway,
Okay.
so Catherine Estes, one of the caretakers, has experienced scratches, burn marks, and carvings appearing on her skin. She described the house as addictive. Visitors often dream about it afterward, feeling drawn back despite the danger. The house sits atop land once roamed by Kiowa, Waco, and Comanche tribes, sorry, and near the legendary healing wells of Mineral Wells. Some believe the basement holds a portal to another realm, where the energy shifts from eerie to outright sinister. Growls, cold spots, and oppressive dread are common in that space. Today, Haunted Hill House is open year-round for overnight investigations. No public tours, only those brave enough to stay the night and face what lurks within. Paranormal researchers have come from across the country, and many leave with more than just stories. They leave with scars, recordings, and a lingering sense that something followed them home.
Ooh,
Dun-dun-dun. So,
creepy.
yeah, so you had never heard of that one before?
No. And
Interesting.
I'm still just like surprised by the amount of documented scratches and bite marks.
How have I never heard of this, especially considering all of those things?
Don't send your husband there.
No, they will definitely scratch him. He doesn't even have to touch dresses in the closet, and they'll.
No. Oh my
But
goodness.
yeah, so that's it for our topic of this episode. So now we're going to move on to segment 4, which is typically our listener submissions or Reddit stories.
You got mail.
We didn't really have any listener submissions, so we instead decided to do Reddit stories. And being that this episode's coming out near Thanksgiving, we're going to do Thanksgiving themed Reddit stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to take it away with the one you found?
Sure. The one I found is the Thanksgiving Ghost of Marsh Bridge.
Ooh,
So they say it's like a reimagined tale, and you'll see why.
okay.
So, on Thanksgiving Day, 1902, a southbound train approaching Marsh Bridge near Geneva, New York, which we both know of, so I thought that was interesting.
Yes, that's cool.
Yeah. The engineer and firemen heard a scream and saw a white figure weaving frantically. Alarmed, they stopped the train, but the figure vanished. Despite searching, they found nothing. Upon reaching the station, shaken crew members learned of a deadly accident on the same bridge years earlier. A train had plunged off, killing the engineer and fireman, with the fireman's body never recovered. Every Thanksgiving, a shrieking phantom reportedly appeared, earning the moniker Thanksgiving Ghost. Newspapers nationwide, including the Salt Lake Telegram, reported this eerie tale on December 4th of 1902. However, verifying the legend was challenging. No accidents on Thanksgiving matched the description, but an event in 1873 closely aligned. On March 29, 1873, a train from Syracuse to Rochester plunged into Marsh Creek due to a washed-out bridge. The locomotives and cars disappeared in the flood, killing Ignatius Buletti and fireman Augustus Sipple. Buletti's body was recovered the next day, but Sipple's was found 2 days later, far downstream. Buletti's funeral drew a large crowd, highlighting his community impact. The family sued the railroad, winning compensation of negligence. The tragedy left a lasting impression, transforming into a cautionary tale about poor track maintenance. The story evolved to link the ghost to Thanksgiving, possibly due to misremembered dates or as a warning during heavy travel seasons. Whether a spectral warning or a reminder of railroad danger, the legend of Marsh Bridge endures. Buletti's funeral was marred by delays, with mourners forced to lower his coffin themselves due to cemetery rules. Some say this kind of disrespect might keep spirits restless, fueling tales of the Thanksgiving ghost.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
So that's
Okay.
like closer
Yeah.
to us. And so I now feel like I need to look up and know how to pronounce his name and maybe read a little bit more on that because it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Let me know what you find.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so I had a hard time finding a ghost story for mine. So instead, I found a creepy story. This comes from Killer Orange Cat,
Right.
and here's how their story goes. I thought that going to college right out of high school was intimidating. I came from a small town, went to a huge college with an enrollment of over 50,000 students. It was crazy to me how active the campus was at all the time. If I thought that was a culture shock, though, it was nothing compared to what happened during Thanksgiving break. I didn't have the kind of money to be able to go home, so I remained in my dorm alone during the break. I didn't realize that this also had me one of the few people not only alone in the dorm building, but on the entire campus.
Ooh.
What had so recently been just a metropolis of people became a barren wasteland. If the loneliness wasn't enough, a snowstorm hit the night before Thanksgiving. I recall waking up in the morning at about 7 a.m. and looking out across a completely barren and desolate campus. Now, I suppose this doesn't seem weird at all, but it was a complete shock to me. Honestly, I spent the entire day on Wednesday in my dorm room looking out over the campus. I didn't really even have the nerve to go out. However, I guess I began getting stir crazy on Thanksgiving. I'd gotten myself a frozen turkey dinner that I was going to make in my microwave, but I really wanted to get out. There was a Denny's on campus, so I thought I would go and have dinner there. The dinner went fine, but I was uneasy because there was another guy in the restaurant who wouldn't stop staring at me. It made me uncomfortable. I normally like to take my time in a restaurant, but I couldn't bring myself to do that here. So immediately after I was done, I left. Walking home, I nervously kept looking over my shoulder. It didn't take long before I noticed that the guy was following me, and he was walking faster than I was. By the time I got to the dormitory doorway, he was already up the front steps. He called for me to hold the door for him, but I didn't. He seemed pretty old for a person living in the dorms, but if he was a student, he would have an electronic key card to let him in. I looked back as I went up the stairs and saw him standing in the foyer. I'm not sure how much later it was, but I heard a knocking on my door. I got up and looked at the people and was surprised to see the man from outside standing in front of my door. I wasn't sure how he got in, nor how he found my room. Rather than acknowledge him, however, I went back to my desk quietly. He knocked a few more times, then left. About 5 hours later, I heard another knock at the door. At first, I, of course, expected it to be that man again. However, when I looked at the people, it was the campus police. I let them in. One of the other students that was in my dorm building had gotten attacked earlier in the day, and they wanted to know if I had seen anything suspicious. I explained my experience to them. They arrested the suspect, and I had to go with them to see if I could identify the person. It indeed was the man who had followed me home from the Denny's. He apparently had gone door to door knocking and hadn't known where I was. He eventually came across someone who opened their door, and the person who did paid a terrible
Oh,
price.
that's awful.
Yeah, so it wasn't really a ghost story.
Oh, that's all right, though. It's still
Yeah,
creepy story on
very
Thanksgiving.
creepy. I thought it was gonna take like a ghosty turn.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that
But
too.
she didn't
Like,
know how he got in. I was like, okay.
yeah. Well, like when you first started talking about like being on campus, I've heard other
Hmm.
ones on Reddit where it was like, oh, when I was alone because everybody went home, same kind of deal. And then,
Hmm.
their lights are turning on or like something weird is happening that doesn't ever happen when, people are
Yeah,
there. So at first I was
yeah,
thinking, oh, maybe it will be like that, but still like even more creepy if it's a real person in my mind.
yeah. So I was hoping it was a ghost.
Right? That
I thought for sure she was gonna like look up from her desk and was standing inside her door and was
would have been
like just
interesting
there.
though. Yeah.
That would have been creepy as all
And you
get
hear
out.
about a lot of the old college campuses being haunted because they're, the history and
Oh yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
So,
And I know we've talked about like places that are normally full of people suddenly not being full of people and just kind of feeling that void of energy, and that's kind
yeah.
of
And
creepy in
it's a
itself.
lot more like creepy once it's silent and
Yeah, yeah. So I can only imagine how creepy a college campus is at
right?
that point.
Truth.
Yeah. So those are our Reddit stories. So now we're gonna dive into segment 5, which is our haunted news. Brooke, what do you have for us?
Yeah. So I thought this one was interesting. A house for sale in Louisiana has captured the internet's attention due to a unique selling point. It claims not to be haunted. Which, okay, so I just have to add something here. So, my husband's a real estate agent, and I would come across these like memes and stuff where it's a sign and it says that. And I thought they were jokes. Like,
Yeah.
I thought, oh, this would be really funny. But this one actually said this. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
I believe it
okay,
because like New Orleans is supposedly so haunted. If somebody wants to move
yes.
there and they don't want a haunted house,
Yeah, so I mean it
good luck with
makes
that.
sense. But exactly, and it seems like a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
So, according to Newsweek, New Orleans artist Anthony Baden discovered the property while exploring the French Quarter. The for sale sign prominently features the phrase "not haunted" in all capital letters, which amused Baden and prompted him to share it on TikTok, which has quickly gained popularity. So, as you said, New Orleans is reputed to be America's most haunted city, with its rich and eerie history drawing in tourists. The property, listed for 415,000 on Zillow, is a
Oof.
one-bedroom, one-bathroom home with historic charm. Despite the playful sign, the listing by realtor Linda D. DePanchis I don't
Yeah, I
know.
have no
Sorry for
idea.
butchering last names,
Sorry,
friends.
Linda.
Yeah, it makes no mention of ghosts. So TikTok viewers found the sign entertaining, with comments ranging from skepticism to jokes about the city's haunted reputation. Newsweek has contacted Linda for further comment. So I'm not sure if she responded. And then I think there was some comments for anybody who's interested in this story too, is that somebody said they knew the location and they're like, oh, it's definitely haunted. So that was really humorous. And I'm
I
like,
wonder.
oh my
I wonder if
gosh.
you could sue after, like, you
Right?
advertise
That's
this as
true
not
though.
being
You
haunted,
claimed.
and then I moved in and all this shit went
I guess
down.
they would need proof, so they'd have to set up their video cameras and then they'd have to get it.
Yeah. Can you imagine being the judge with that
I
case?
know, I was just thinking
Like,
that.
I really hope that judge believes in ghosts, because if they don't,
Right?
it's not going to go well
They're,
for them.
they're like, oh, you rigged this,
Yeah. You
this is
moved a chair
AI, I don't know.
yourself, you just got faulty wiring.
You know what? Nowadays, that would be a lot harder too to claim that that was real evidence,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
as
For
opposed
sure.
to before all of our new technology.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my goodness. But I thought that was
That's
pretty
great.
funny.
That's great. If I was moving to New Orleans, I would definitely want to know my place was not haunted, because we've talked about this before.
Right?
I don't want to live in a haunted house. I don't mind
Yeah, I
exploring
want to
haunted
visit
stuff.
them. I don't want to live
I
there.
don't want to live with it. They're the only worst roommates are mice. Mice and ghosts are like the two worst roommates
Yeah.
you can have
Or
in your
rats.
house.
Same
Rats,
difference,
yeah,
I
same
guess,
difference.
right?
Yeah, I've lived
Yeah.
with mice before. I would take the mice over the ghosts,
Yeah, I can understand that too,
because you can
especially
do,
depending on what they
yeah,
did.
you could do something about the mice.
Yeah.
Ghosts, it's kind of like, do I do an exorcism and hope it works?
Yeah,
Shrug.
it's kind of a toss up.
That was good. I like that.
What did you find?
So I found an article that was from on rvtrader.com.
All
They have
right.
no skin in this game at all.
All right.
It was titled looking. I think it was titled this. I don't know. I copied it from there in some of my notes. But it said, looking to add a little paranormal thrill to your autumn adventures. RVTrader.com has compiled a spine-tingling list of the 6 most haunted campgrounds in the U.S. Perfect for campers who crave ghost stories with their s'mores.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Let's
All
do it.
right, yes. So the first one is Braley Pond, Virginia. Once a peaceful fishing spot, this forested campground turned infamous after a suspected gang murder.
Ooh.
Paranormal researcher Shay Willis reported eerie visions, physical sensations, and lingering nightmares after her stay. I don't think I'd go there. I don't want nightmares after a big stay
Yeah,
there.
that's a little much.
Like, I don't want it to follow me home. Uh,
Mm-mm.
the next one is Lake Morena County Park, California. Nestled outside San Diego, this remote desert site is known for ghostly figures: a man who walks on air, a woman in white, again the women in white, and unexplained footsteps echoing through the night.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Then we've got Holy Ghost Campground, New Mexico. Located in a steep canyon, this site is haunted by the spirit of a priest tied to a violent 17th century legend. Visitors have heard chanting and seen shadowy figures among the trees.
Hmm.
I need to
That's
look up what
interesting.
that 17th century legend is now, because
Yeah,
I'm
I want to know too.
curious. So the next one, Bannack State Park, Montana. A former gold rush town with a bloody past, Bannack is haunted by its outlaw sheriff and other lingering spirits. Hotel Mead is a hot spot for sightings of a crying girl and ghostly presences. And then we've got Hunting Island State Park, South Carolina. The lighthouse here is said to be haunted by a keeper who failed to save a drowning boy, and by
Mm.
his daughter who leapt from the tower. Visitors report ghostly knocks and apparitions on the beach.
Yikes.
Yeah. And then we have Carl G. Washburn Memorial State Park, Oregon. Not all spirits are sinister. Rue, a helpful ghost and former caretaker, is known for assisting staff in gently moving objects around the lighthouse property.
That'd be
How nice
interesting.
of that ghost.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're, just chasing ghosts or you just want to soak in some scenic beauty, these campgrounds offer unforgettable experiences. And if you're new to RV travel, just remember to arrive before dark and pack an emergency kit, just in case your ghost story becomes a little too real.
Good advice.
Not sure what the emergency kit's gonna do. I don't know what you include in the emergency kit, like a cross, like some
Maybe it's like
sage.
your supernatural, like from the show.
We should. Oh, we
The
should like
holy
that.
water, you know.
That'd be something to add to our
Salt.
merch shop. Your supernatural emergency kit.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That's
All right.
great.
Well, that was all I had.
All right. That's a wrap on this episode of Bumps in the Night, Ghosts, Ghouls, and Hauntings. Thanks for spending time with us in the shadows. Whether you're here for the scares, the stories, or just the sound of our charming voices echoing through the void. If you've got a haunting tale of your own, a bizarre headline you want us to dig into, or a location you think deserves a spotlight, send it our way. You'll find all our links and contact info in the show notes. And don't forget to follow us on social media for behind-the-scene updates, sneak peeks, and all things spooky. We're on Instagram at Beyond Upstate Paranormal, and on Facebook, just search Beyond Upstate Modern Paranormal Society. Looking to rock some haunted merch? Our Printify shop link is also in the show notes, so you can wear your ghostly pride wherever you roam. Until next time, keep the lights on, your EMF readers charged, and remember, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Stay spooky, friends.